Hi, this is Untitled this side. Now, today in this video, we are going to learn that how to take a coding test on an online platform, just like a hackerrank and hackerrank. So today I'm going to take the reference of a hackerrank. Okay, so first you need to log in with the hackerrank. Okay, so click a login button, and then you have to log in. The first login you have to follow, code and get hired. Okay, now you can log in with all of your account, Facebook, Google and LinkedIn. Okay, I'm going to use my Google account for this. Okay, so here is my Google account. So I'm logging with my Google account to the hackerrank. Okay, so this is the first time login and you have to choose your preferred language. So I'm choosing the C language as my preferred language. You are asked to solve something like this. So just click a run code. Okay, congrats. Okay, you just solved your first challenge. Okay, now continue. So that was just a little glimpse that how we are going to code on a hackerrank. Okay, so now let's explore the hackerrank skill. So I'm going to use a C language again. We are having a bunch of already some problem statements. Okay, so this is for the learning purpose. So there is a difference between if you are solving some test created by someone. So let's make you familiar with the environment. I'm taking this easy one, sum and difference of a two number. Okay, I'm choosing the easy one so that you get familiar with all the pros and cons of this online platform. So this is the objective. This is for the learning purpose. So this is the objective. So in objective, they just told that what is the printf, scanf, all that stuff. And now the second is the task. So task is whatever we have to solve. So a task. So let's read this. Your task is to take two numbers of integer data type and two number for the floating data type as an input and output their sum. So we have to take two inputs of an integer type and two inputs for the floating data type, and we have to calculate their sum. Okay, so the first part is declare four variables, two of type integer, two of type float. So total four variables. Read two lines of input from a standard input and initialize your four variables. Now the third part says that use plus and minus operator to perform the following operation. Print the sum of the difference of a two number into variable on a new line. Print the sum and the difference of a two float variable rounded to one decimal place on a new line. Okay, so no, this task is very simple. If you see that this is only the plus minus question, but the difference in this is that the format, we have to be very precise while giving the input and showing the output. Okay, so the input format. So now this thing you should be very careful. Okay, let's see this input format. The first line contains the two integer. So look, here we have a sample input. So in a sample input, in a first line, there are two decimal number. That is 10 and 4. That is already given. The one sample input and one sample output would be given in each and every question. Okay, so the input format says that the first line contains two integers. So sample input is already given. So that is 10 and 4 with one space, obviously. So the second line contains two floating point numbers. So that is your input format, and sample is given in the question itself. Okay, so now what are the constant? The constant is the integer variable would be varying between 1 and 10 raised to the power 4. Okay, so now let's move to the output format. Print the sum and the difference of the both integers separated by the space on the first line, and the sum and the difference of both float scale to the one decimal place separated by the space on the second line. Okay, let's see the sample output. Okay, so this is your sample output. Look, in a sample output, there is a 14 and a 6. So 14 is 10 plus 4, give you the 14, and the difference is a 6. Okay, Similarly with the floating value. So now this thing you have to follow exactly. If you're going to write in a sample input like enter two values, enter two integer values or enter two float values, your this whatever you are giving an input, that will not match with whatever the test case they have designed. Fine. Okay, so let's move to the implementation part. Okay, so here I have to declare int a comma b, so two variables, float I comma j. So four variables I have declared. So I'm going to use scanf. So okay, so the problem statement state that there should be only two integer in a first row. So here I'm going to use scanf %d for a two integer variable. So here would be ampersand a comma ampersand b. Fine. So if I'm going to write this like printf enter two integer values. Fine. So that is wrong. That is wrong. You can't use any kind of these things, any kind of extra input or extra text on your input or output screen. Fine. Okay, so I'm stick with only scanf a and b. Okay, so then scanf. Okay, so now I have to take a float. For a float I'm using the format specifier f. So here will be an ampersand I comma ampersand j. Okay, so now I'm done with the input part. Okay, so now my output format. Okay, my output format is related to the sum and sum of integer sum I. Okay, so similarly for sum float. Fine. Okay, so now first let's calculate the values. Sum I, that is equal to a plus b. Okay, then sum float, that is equal to I plus j. Similarly, I have to do for the difference also, difference of the integer variable, that is a minus b. Okay, so here different, okay, okay, that is I minus j. Okay, so for that I have to declare these variable also. So it's a difference I and difference of a float. You can take any variable name of your choice. Fine. That doesn't affect your input and output. Okay, so now printf. Now what's the output? Let's move to that part. Okay, so the output format. So sample input, we already designed our program according to this. Okay, so one thing we hadn't implemented, that is only one precision value of floating value. So that thing we are going to take care of later. First let's put the logic. Okay, so first the sample output would be the addition of two number, then a difference. Okay, so addition. So printf. So first there are two integers, so that is %d. Okay, then space %d. So this is exactly what he needs. Okay, okay. So here first the addition, that is sum I, then okay, difference dif, difference of I. Okay. So now in the second line printf. Okay, that would be percentile f. Okay, again percentile f comma sum of floating values comma some, okay, sorry, difference of floating values. Fine. So okay, let's run this. Do not submit your code when you are taking a test. We do not submit the code. First, run your code. Fine. First, you have to run your code. It's processing. Look, we are having an error. Okay, so let's see. So okay, so I put an extra semicolon after A and B. So here should be a comma. So in this way, this online compiler will give you the error that this error is at this location. Fine. Okay, so the same mistake I did over here. Okay, so this is repetition. Okay, let's check our code. Okay, you can see, okay, here should be a comma instead of semicolon. Okay, let's run our code again so that we will get to know that what are the errors. Okay, so now you can see that was the input. Fine, 10 4 4 2. Okay, and my output, what is my output is, that is 1466 2.0. That doesn't make any sense. It doesn't match with the expected output. That should be 14.6. Then in the next line it should be 6.0 and 2.0. So though my logic is correct, but you can see that the test case doesn't match. Okay, so it means in an output, okay, so I need a 14 and 6, then a new line, then 6 and 2. So let's modify that thing. Okay, so after that I'm going to put a new line constant over here. Okay, now let's rerun our code. Okay, so it's a step-by-step execution. Okay, so now 14 and 6, the first line is exactly matched, but my second line is still not matching with whatever the required by the website. Okay, so now we know that we are having a point 1. Okay, point 1. Okay, now let's run our code again. Okay, so now you can see whatever the expected output. Look, this was the expected output, and now whatever I have given the program, that output is matched with the expected output. So this thing you are going to do in the online platforms, okay, while coding. If you are going to check the output against your custom input. So, in a scan app, whatever you're doing in a scan app, okay, let's see over here. Okay, here is scan app. Okay, so here I'm going to give some values. Okay, so the first two, let's suppose 1 from 2, and in the next line I have to give some floating value, that is 3.3 space 5.6. okay, so now I in this, what that means, so test against custom input. I have given my own input and I want to see whatever the output is. So if that kind of question you want to check for the variation of the input, you can give your input over here. Now you have to click a run code. Okay, so now in this case, okay, your output is 3, okay, minus 1, fine, that is 8.9 and minus 2.3, fine. So this output is now for the corresponding input you have specified in the test against the custom input, fine. Okay, so now I'm almost satisfied with all the things. Now I'm going to submit my code. Okay, I'm going to submit the code. Okay, it will take a while. Okay, so let's wait. And this is the key, that whatever sample input and sample output is given in a problem statement, you have to code exactly for that. Do not put anything extra in an input and an output, fine. Okay, so congratulations. Okay, so in this way you can success. Okay, so there are at the back end there are several test cases like 0, 1, 2, 3. So I have passed all the test cases. Okay, if you are having any other question, just comment below. I will answer it. Okay, So maybe I will make more short videos. That is just for the, I just choose a one question which is for the practice purpose. I'm going to make a one challenge and we are trying to solve some challenge. Okay, thanks for watching.